Colts are going to play Week 10 in Frankfort, Germany. That's about 7 hours from where Bernhard Raimann grew up and where his family is. So we got a chance to talk to Bernhard Raimann not just about what he's doing on the football field, but what this means to his family, what this means to him to be able to play so close to home.
You had about the trip to Germany?
I did. I actually texted them this morning before coming into the facilities, and they're all super excited.
It's about a 7-hour drive. I assume they're not going to drive, but are they planning on coming?
Yeah, probably depends on how big of a group they're getting together. It might be cheaper to drive, like 5 people per car. I don't know.
You're in the NFL now. You can probably afford it.
Right,
Just
yeah.
a thought.
No, absolutely. But no, I think it just depends on who's deciding to go. I don't know if my grandma still likes flying or if she likes to drive. I guess it depends on all that.
How many games were they able to come to last year?
Only to one of the games. They were there for the Washington game, so I'm really excited for them to all come. And yeah, so last year was only my dad, but this year's really probably everyone.
Did they get to see you play at Central Michigan?
No. So first 2 years, they came in the off season, like spring ball season, just because there was a little bit more free time. And then they were like, "Oh yeah, we're coming this year," and then COVID hit, obviously, and then you had to quarantine every time you wanted to travel somewhere, and then no one could take off 5 weeks to travel somewhere, obviously. So. Yeah.
So that news this morning was huge.
It was, yeah. I was pumped.
Have you ever been to Frankfort?
Yes, I have.
How would you describe it?
Old. No, it's really nice. No, it's a beautiful city. I probably need to freshen up with some restaurants and stuff that are out there to give the right recommendations. But no, it's beautiful, and I'm just looking forward to going out there.
Bernhard, where are you now as compared to where you were last year at this moment in terms of preparation and everything else?
We've been having a lot of fun in the off season. Feel better physically, mentally. Really take care of your body in the off season. You put on a couple pounds. You work in your technique. You build more chemistry with the guys, which has been huge. And yeah, you just get more comfortable with the other guys, but also with like playbooks, with the speed of the NFL and everything. And I'm just looking forward to the season now.
I was going to ask you, have you gained some weight?
Yeah.
You have how much?
15 pounds or so.
That's a lot.
Definitely trying to keep that up, but continuing working my footwork, trying to keep speed as good as possible. Looking forward to then also trying to using that extra weight on the field and really translating that on the football field.
You still feel like yourself despite that?
Oh, definitely. I feel better than ever.
What was the single biggest thing you learned last year? You faced some great pass rushers. What was the single greatest thing you learned?
The single greatest thing that I learned, sorry, just that I can do it. Obviously, it's not always the result that you want, but especially in a rookie season, going up against rushers that you've watched on TV for such a long time. That Khalil Mack came from the same conference, and you look up to him, and then you face him all of a sudden, and it kind of gets in your head. But then more and more realizing that you got this, and you can really hang in with those guys. It's a huge step forward. And then obviously you just got to keep the focus for the whole game, not let it slip up in a couple plays, and keep improving every week.
What's your relationship like with Coach Grano so far? And just getting to know him, what has he, taught you so far, and what you see in you?
I'm really excited with Coach Grano. He's a great coach, great guy outside of the football building as well. And it's been a lot of fun getting to know him, getting to know kind of his philosophy and the way he teaches. Every coach has a little bit of a different style, but he has a lot of little wrinkles in there that he teaches us, and we've all been really enjoying him and gotten to learn a lot.
How would you describe his style? Like, is he, I don't know, very vocal, or is he very like detailed and wants you to redo something? Like, how would you?
No, I mean he's not the type of guy that's just gonna just yell at you across the field, but he's gonna take you aside and he's gonna make sure you do it as many times as you need to until you get it right. He's not letting you get away with anything, and he's gonna make sure you get it right and you understand it, and you understand why the prep didn't work out for you or like why you did something wrong. And yeah, it's just a great coach.
Bernhard, are you a guy, when you self-critique, look back at last year, do you take more from the good that you did or the things that you want to improve on?
Obviously you want to learn from both, but the negatives are always going to stick in your head a little bit more.
Is it hard to get past them, or?
No, I wouldn't say that. It's just you're gonna, it reminds you, like when you think about something, you remember more of the negative things, and I've just always been, type of a perfectionist, and you can have like whatever 70 good snaps, and then you get 1 or 2 bad ones in there, but you're gonna think about those the most the next day, especially if then you don't win as a team. So you just kind of get in your own head a little bit, but that's also something you got to learn, that it's a week-to-week league, and you got to learn from these mistakes and then improve them. But looking back at the last season, obviously you kind of watch those bad plays over and over again, and just gonna make sure they don't happen again.
Were you able to
Couple
move
more.
past them last year? Were you able to move past them last year, or did they sort of gnaw at you for longer than they should have?
Well, I think it's definitely a tough thing to move past, but I've also had some great guys in the locker room, Quinn right next to me, who is the first guy that picks me up right after, and you just work through it together. You come in on a Monday and work on those mistakes, and then you're just going to move on. And I think that was something I learned throughout the season too.
Was there a moment last year when you, I'm sorry, go ahead.
There was a point last year when you kind of settled in, at least as far as starting every game at left tackle, to kind of let you finish it out. How much did that just continuity, consistency of reps kind of help you develop?
For me, I think for every offensive lineman, it's huge to get this, continuous game experience, and just building that chemistry with the guys. Kind of getting the snap count down, because obviously the snap count, but every quarterback is slightly different. Every center snaps the ball a bit sooner or later. So it's just getting all that down makes it doesn't only get you more comfortable back there, but it also makes the job a lot easier, because you kind of know what everyone else is doing.
Piggybacking off that, was there a welcome to the NFL moment for you last year? And was there a moment when you felt like, I got this, I belong here?
Kind of going back and thinking about the negative plays more than the positives, but the Denver game obviously was like the welcome to the NFL moment of you're not exactly on snap count, or you take the wrong first step or something and you're gonna get beat. So that was definitely like that kind of wake up moment of, this is a totally different level. But
And a good moment when you felt like you belonged?
Then it's just kind of, it was kind of ups and downs. There were some games where you feel more comfortable than others. New England game wasn't the game I wanted to, but then overall was a better game. So you kind of oh, I got this. I just gotta lock in. I gotta correct a couple things. So yeah, it's kind of hard to point it down which ones, but then practice gets a little bit easier, and then games kind of slow down too.
You mentioned
All right, last one here.
restrictions when you were at Central Michigan. Obviously, your dad was the only one who made it out last year. Was your family able to come out at all for your high school games, or will this be the first time most of them have seen you play American football, period?
So let me think. My dad was here last year. No one really saw a college football game live. So last time they saw me, I was playing football for the Vienna Vikings. So that was some time ago. And yeah, that's probably, so most of my family was probably like, what, 7 years ago now or something, last time they saw me play. So I know they're excited, I'm really excited, and just really looking forward to it.
So when you were still a wide receiver?
Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty sure last game they watched me play was like the Austrian national championship. Caught a touchdown pass. Just make sure to throw it in there. No, I think that's like the last game they ever saw. And then, but all of them have really done an amazing job of just trying to keep up with everything. And they were able to watch games online. Even though they're 6 hours ahead, sometimes they stayed up in the middle of the night, or they recorded like a TV copy and then watched it the next day, and then called me a little bit after. So it's just, I always felt that support, even with them being that far away.
So you gotta get Shane to put a tackle eligible.
Yeah, I might have to talk to him about that.
Bob, last one. Real quick, how do you think the people of Germany and Austria and surrounding areas will embrace American football yet again in their country?
I know the sport itself is growing every year, and I know they're super excited. I know like half of my family was signing up for Germany game last year, even though I wasn't even playing there, just because they love football. I know for me personally, my first ever NFL game was in London. Steelers were playing the Vikings. It was huge for myself. Really opened up my eyes to NFL football, and I know that everyone is like super excited over there, and especially my family.
All right. You can speak German?
Yes, sir.
That's your language in
Yeah.
your country?
Yes, I'm also. It's German. That's what I
Okay, cool.
Bernie, how much do you weigh now?
I'm right on like between 315 and 320.
Hey, how about that? Finding out that Bernhard Raimann has gained 15 pounds. That's really interesting stuff, the kind of specific information that we don't get too often. Bernhard Raimann doing everything he can, and we heard this from Jim Bob Cooter too, that Jim Bob Cooter says that Bernhard Raimann is doing all the right things to try to get better. Bernhard Raimann acknowledges gaining 15 pounds, it's not fad. You look at his shoulders are different this year. This is a guy who athletically has added weight and is going to play at a higher level. I think Bernhard Raimann's going to have a hell of a year.